Hello and welcome to the Just Average People podcast, episode number 8. I'm your host, Farhan Hussain, and I am also your guest today. Being episode 5, I want to say I was your guest as well, so I am back just talking to myself. Just woke up. Woke up a little while ago. I woke up at 6:20 a.m., 7:20 now, just did a few things, put a few dishes away, loaded the dishwasher, turned that on, and then I started looking at a few videos on YouTube on barbecuing. So me and my wife have just done for the first time for her. For the first time, she's never had a barbecue in her life, and this is the first time I've been the main person doing the barbecue as well. So we've just done three. So far we did one on Sunday. I'm recording this on Friday, by the way. We did one on Sunday. We did one on Tuesday and one yesterday on Thursday. So every 2 days. It's just the way the weather's been. If the weather was great on Monday, we potentially, or the Wednesday, might have done it then. But the weather was good on those 3 days, and we were free as well. We were able to do it. So what did we have? So again, this is just going to be me talking about random stuff from business to barbecuing to whatever. So the first Sunday that we did it, invited my cousin round. We did that. We actually set up the barbecue. It was a dual smoker barbecue from Aldi for £65, 64.99 to be exact. And like the equivalent from somewhere else that's not Aldi will probably be 120 to 150 quid. So that was nice because just a round Weber, not a Weber one, but like a Weber round fake one will probably set you back 50 to 80 quid anyway. So this is, was happy with this, and so far it's been good. And so basically, it has a small chamber where you can whack in the fuel, whether that's wood, whether that's coal, whatever it is, and that would obviously have most of the heat. Then the bigger chamber where that heat goes through, and you can put your stuff in there, and it has an indirect cooking method where it's not over the flames. You can either do that, or what we've been doing is just in the bigger chamber at the bottom, pour in the fuel. So in our case, it's just been charcoal, and then to top it up, we've just put some, cardboard and paper, mainly cardboard from packages. The brown box that packages come in. So that's been great. Usually we just throw away packages, but now I'm like, whenever we get a package, just keep it, rip it up, and we can use it on the barbecue. So that's been a great way of having fuel. Obviously, it has the element of recycling as well. And then we was also whacking on these sort of white blocks that we got them from Lidl, I believe. You can get them from most places, Co-op, Tesco. That's just sort of they're not flammable, but they just sit on the basically kind of like fire lighters. You put a bit of fire on it, like with a fire gun or a matchstick, and like they go on fire quick. They don't need much. It's not like paper or cardboard. Sometimes that we use like a match or a fire gun, and it's quite long on fire. You whack a bit of a spark, a bit of a fire on that, boom, that lights up, and then that lights up all the cardboard around it, and well, and then we just put back on the tray above it. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. We had chicken on the Sunday, just chicken strips. We had some burger buns. We whacked it in there. We used from Aldi a Nando's style peri peri marinade. Really good. It's about 80 odd p for I think it's 250 ml, and the OG Nando's one is like 260 or 270 ml, so pretty much the same. And that's like £2.25, £2.50. So it's 3 times the amount roughly. And taste wise, honestly, Audi one's up there, maybe even better. What I would say is the Audi, because we bought the hot one, it's it's not as hot as the Nando's hot one. So if you want it hot, maybe I don't know if I already did an extra hot one. To do next time, we'll probably get that. Try that one because again, hot was not very hot. Had a bit of kick, nothing crazy. We tried lemon and herb. What was great, my cousin suggested mixing the lemon and herb and the hotter or medium hot, whatever time marinated, mixing those two and then putting the chicken in there and laying it marinating that. That was great because he had a bit of a lemony flavor to it, but he had also had a bit of a hot flavor to it as well. So we did that on Sunday. Obviously, just burger buns with chicken strips. We had 1.5 kilos worth of chicken, Finished that, but we were stuffed by the end. And we had 3 burger buns each. My wife had two; she only wanted two. We had a bunch of like salad as well, so like lettuce, cucumbers, onions mainly for my wife. We had some peppers as well, and then it all turned out good. Like there was no raw bits. The chicken was all cooked, but it wasn't dry. So far, we haven't had any dry pieces. It's been fantastic. No too crispy pieces. It's been fantastic. And then on Tuesday and today, we had some chicken strips. When I say some, still a fair bit. And but we also had chicken burgers as well. But I'll get back onto that in a second. So the technique that we've been using to cook the chicken that I found works pretty well is on one side, because it's a pretty big chamber, but you can do it even with a round one as well. Looking online, you just position like the fuel, the coals, the wood, wherever it is, to one side. Let's say the left side, left half, and that's where the direct heat will be. On the right side is just essentially using indirect heat. And what we do, we get we hot. The flames are still going on the left side. We put all the chicken on the right side. Close the lid. I mean, I'll have to check the timings again. To be fair, and I need to, really get down with the timings. Probably 5 to 8 minutes, and then pick it up. Once it basically gets really white on the bottom side, flip it over. You're not going to get many char marks for the simple reason it's not directly overheat, and then 5 to 8 minutes on that side. Once we're happy that it's pretty much cooked and almost basically ready to eat, then we put all the pieces. Sometimes you only can do 2 or 3 at a time, depending on how much the fire is going, how wide that area is. But then we put all those chicken pieces on the where the fire is going, and just let it char grill on one side, flip them char grill on the side, whack them back on the right side where it was essentially indirect heat. Do that with all the chicken pieces, whack them over to the side, close the lid for a few more minutes, open it, and then take the pieces off, and they'll be ready to go. The chicken burgers, on the other hand, so these were again homemade burgers. That so what I do to get the best sort of mince in general, I don't buy the mince that they can go to a butcher's, any sort of butcher's, and they'll just have pre-made mince. Don't buy that one for the simple reason it's lower quality mince, because it's essentially, obviously, let's just talk about chicken for a second. It could be lamb, it could be steak, beef, it could be anything. But what it essentially is, it's the meat plus fat plus all this other waste that they generally would not be able to sell to you, that they just put it all together, and that's what the seller means. And that's the reason why per kilo, usually mince that's already done will be cheaper, fair bit cheaper than, let's say, get a chicken breast. So what I always do, I will get them to get a chicken breast, roughly 2 for half a kilo, depending on the size of chicken. Breast could go up to half a kilo, 600 grams, but yeah, about 2 for per half kilo, so 4 for kilo, 6 for 1.5 kilos. Next time I'm probably going to go for 1.5 kilos instead of just a half a kilo, which we made last over 2 days. So we're going to have more chicken burgers next time because we love them so much. They were so good. And yeah, so I always get them to get the chicken breast. I would say clean it up, so take the fat off and just clean it up in general. Then mince that. So we're basically just getting pure chicken breast. So if you're I've started getting into weightlifting, so obviously wanting better nutrition, not just protein but carbohydrates as well. But if you talk about the protein aspect of it, it's ensuring that you're getting a high source of high quantity of protein instead of just getting you know the mince that they've already done, but you don't know what's actually gone into it. You don't know if 100 grams of chicken breast is about 30 grams of protein. You don't know if 100 grams of the pre-made chicken mince can make 30 grams of protein. Probably not. Probably near 15 to 20 grams of protein, and more fat and blah blah blah. I mean, some people prefer that. I prefer more chickeny. Anyway, I think that's the other reason why I have chicken. Like the thing is, they were obviously mince. He was obviously mince, but they didn't feel mincy, and we don't mean that in a bad way. They felt more sort of chickeny, almost like we had got a piece of chicken and we just had shredded. I mean, I guess that's what mince is, but just shredded it, and we were just having small bits of chicken that had just been combined. It was weird. It didn't feel mincy. It was good. It was good. Hopefully. you will get to experience it sometime. But yeah, so chicken, what was I saying? You get them to mince actual chicken breast. My wife got this marinade, combination that she's created, and we're thinking for next time to improve even more, maybe whacking a bit of salt, extra salt, and a bit of red chili powder. It was a little bit on the milder side. If anyone's interested in the recipe, just message me and I'll message it over. But yeah, but what I'm thinking, man, instead of adding salt, I've seen some videos online doing this, they're adding extra salt in the recipe, because there's already salt in the recipe. Season the actual burger on the outside with salt and maybe a bit of pepper. Try that. But yeah, so with the chicken burgers, what we do is we directly put them over the flame, and so direct heating. Get them to, so we can monitor that because they're, reason. No, the hair on my keyboard, the trackpad. So I blew that away. So yeah, they're reasonably thick. They're not super thick. We use roughly about just over 100 grams, 105 grams of mint. Put it, with the spices, the weight isn't that much more, so it's pretty much pure just chicken breast. Put that in. We got this large burger press thing. They just put the mince in there. It's just a manual press, and he just shapes it. Boy from Aldi, just a few quid. I was like, yeah, why not? Got a free mini one as well, which I haven't tried. Might be great, for kids, but for adults, like the large ones are fine. Do that. Obviously, make sure you oil that sort of press thing all over inside and outside, so that way it doesn't stick. And then we can, the first time, we use a rubber spatula to help get the thing off. This time, what I did, because I ordered a bit better, it just, after a couple of shakes, it came off, and then just put it on greaseproof paper, and I just put down like a big baking tray that we can take outside. So we do that. We put each one on a spatula. I have like a pair of tongs or like a fork with me, and I put the spatula where I want the meat to go, and I essentially just put my fork or my tongs on one side of the meat, and I pull the spatula out so the meat just stays there. For the most part, it stays in shape, which is good. But yeah, like I was saying, over that direct heat, not long, you can start seeing the meat go white from top to bottom, not quite high. Then monitor it, just have a look. Once you get a bit of blackness and char grill on it, flip it, let it do the same thing on the other side. Once that's done, do all the burgers like that, but then each one transport over to the right hand side or wherever the indirect heat is. Then basically close the lid and probably cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then open it, flip it, 4 to 5 minutes, and then those they're done. The chicken burgers are done. What I might try next time is whacking on some cheese. I guess especially some American cheese. I do like that. I had some strong cheddar yesterday that I cut up and I put it on there. That was fantastic. I might try American cheese, and I've seen people again online, and I'm sure you've seen it, maybe even in person in a restaurant, actually putting the American cheese on the burger, and that's sort of melting onto it and using that. So yeah, I might try that next time. See how that goes. I tried a burger bun with two, what's it called, yesterday. Two, what am I saying? Burger, you know, chicken burger patties, and that was our barbecue. Then after, once it's all cooled down, once the fire extinguisher is cooled down a bit, basically we put everything away inside, and then by that time, I find it's cooled down enough, but it's not hot, but it's not cold either. You still want it warm. That I just get this, basically a couple of brushes that I bought specifically for barbecues. They're very sort of metally, wiry. If you're running across your skin, you probably cut it, shred your skin probably, and just brush that over it. And this other one I've got, which sort of cleans even more, than doing both sides, and then done. One thing what I would say, obviously, when you get a barbecue, I made sure I had these things, but it has helped a lot. Make sure, one, you have some barbecue gloves, not mitts, barbecue gloves. They are very thick, and honestly, when the flame's going up, and sometimes they can go towards you, if you're wearing them in one hand, the hand that you're basically controlling like the spatula or the tongs with, you don't feel it at all. Also, it's great for the grill sort of plates, or the rack that you put the meat on, for moving that around, for sometimes when you want to flip it, especially for cleaning. find the gloves are great. I'd literally just put my hand on it, even if it's like hot, like 100, 150, 200 degrees. You got more than enough time to rotate it before you start feeling any pain, which is fantastic. I got a couple of them. Very rarely use both bottles just in case. One black, one red, both them from Lidl. And so yeah, then what else I got? Make sure you obviously have a good metal spatula. I haven't got that really flat, long one that they have for barbecues. Aldi, let me have a look. Let me have a look. I'm just opening up the Aldi website. I know Aldi and Lidl are going to be getting some more barbecue stuff. I'm just waiting for that because it'll be cheap, it'll be high quality. I could, just buy it and return it if I don't like it, which is the thing that I like about it. And yeah, barbecue tool set. So this actually just includes a pair of tongs, like a prodding thing, and a regular slotted spatula. Warranty period 36 months. That's just insane, that is. And so I need to get that. Let's see what Lidl is getting over this week. So let's have a look coming up. What the magazine is showing. I didn't even access the magazine from the website. I usually just use the app. Read the magazine. If you scroll down, you get that. Ooh, there's some more sauces, some more marinade. They're barbecue sauces. Not the biggest fan of that sort of stuff, to be fair, but I might potentially try them. They got a barbecue pizza oven, $34.99. This is on June the 13th, which is next Sunday. Okay, I would definitely go and get that bad boy for only 35 quid. Hell yeah. So the idea behind one of them is you just whack it on your hot barbecue and the heat from, I'll confirm that's the way it is before I whack it on. I recommend you do the same. But usually that's what it is. Especially for that price, it's not going to be a dedicated pizza oven. And then the heat from the barbecue heats up that entire container, and then you put your pizza on there. But you could do a frozen pizza, you could do a fresh pizza, that's totally up to you. I'm going to try a frozen pizza one of the days on the barbecue, and we'll just see how that goes. I feel like that could actually turn out really, really nice as well. Okay. So yeah, so they're gonna be getting some more stuff in. I'll have a look at that. Like I was saying, I don't have that spatula yet. That's a very flat spatula, and I'll be getting one of them as well. They seem pretty good for flipping. This honestly was pretty good as well for flipping. What else? So yeah, we did the barbecue. We cleaned it. Oh yeah, another thing. I've let the barbecue cool overnight. I'm gonna go and do it after I've done this podcast. Is I bought a barbecue cover. I bought it from Grill Man. It was a bit more expensive than other ones, but this was highly rated. And from what I've read, and it does say, but from what I read, they offer lifetime guarantee, which is apparently meant to be very good. Like I've read the people that they just got a rip in it, for example. They've told the company, they just sent them another one, didn't even ask for the old one back. And like I'm happy to pay a bit extra if you get that sort of customer service. So we could use that for this barbecue. It's pretty big potentially for other barbecues in the future. And I guess just other stuff in general. It doesn't have to be for barbecues. Anything that you want to leave in the garden, you want to protect. Obviously, over the winter months, probably best if you put the barbecue away. I mean, it's not not the end of the world with the cover to have that there, but it just ensures that it's fine. It's there. You have to rush and think, oh, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rust it, it's gonna do that. You got none of that issue. So luckily it hasn't rained overnight. Checked the weather forecast; it wasn't going to because the temperature of the barbecue was still pretty hot. So I thought, you know what, I'll let it cool down. I'll go outside. I will, go and put the cover on in a bit. So what I'm going to do once I've wrapped up this podcast, I'm gonna put the cover on. I'm gonna whack some clothes on because I'm literally in boxes. So yeah, I bought a new pair of boxers. I mean, a pack of pair of boxes from Tesco, and I used to have large, but the large I find are a bit tight. Actually, some of them are tight, but some of them are good. Unless it's shrunk or I just got bigger, maybe both. And I bought some extra large ones, so good. I mean, like this, I think it's the first pair of boxes I've ever bought. Honestly, I got married in December. Before that, mom used to just buy them, and I just had loads anyway, and had them. Mom bought new ones before the wedding, and I just had them. I think I still got some new ones. But yeah, I just went and bought these. These are very stretchy material and they're extra large, so they feel so good. So I'm just sat in these. I probably will be wearing these type a lot more. I'm going to definitely grab some more from Tesco. They were £10. A bit too much in my opinion for boxes, but it is what it is. So the other thing, annoying thing that we've been having is when we use the dishwasher, and I think I know why, but when we use the dishwasher, the sometimes this happens, no way, but sometimes it happens. The washing machine gets a bit of water at the bottom. It is clearly the waste water, and because what we've got is the washing machine and the dishwasher connected to the same waste pipe, and there's also a Y splitter underneath the sink there, and clearly when that water's going down, it's clearly must be going into there as well. I mean, there's a couple of reasons I can think that might be happening. One, because the piping might not be at the right height, but it looked like it. I think the other thing I'm thinking is maybe that the waste pipe thing itself is a bit clogged, and it could do potentially with a bit of a clean, just the main exit point where both of them are feeding into, and as a result, because it's clogged, you can't fully go into it. As a result, the water sort of pushes back and goes, it doesn't go the way that it's coming from, but it goes the other way, which is just empty. And I think it's possibly just pushing that way, and obviously over multiple uses, it's going. I mean, that's one thing I can think of. It is annoying. So where I after one or two dishwasher loads, I have to do a washing machine load. It's usually just like a 15 minutes, light one that I'll do to clear that water. Once we did it, because didn't use the washing machine for a few days, it stank so much because it's wastewater that's sitting there. Water that sits stinks anyway, but wastewater that sits, oh my god, it is so nasty, so nasty. Yeah. So yeah, we've been talking about barbecuing, random stuff. So business just been churning on. Well, I obviously do some work at a local college. I think I mentioned, and I help a student that's visually impaired. That stuff is wrapping up soon. Basically, I'm just sorting out some predicted grade stuff for that student, so that'll be wrapping up soon. And yeah, that was a nice little earner, so that's going to be going. Obviously, that's on my mind, but you know what? I'm going to work on other stuff, start making some money somewhere, other places. So, what I would like to do is by the end of next year, have for the most part a passive income of £10,000 per month, nowhere near that's our income in general. That's what I would like. And I'm thinking, YouTube, £1,000. So I've got like a whiteboard and a few ideas in there. So I'm thinking if I split that £10,000 into 10 £1,000, incomes. So YouTube, £1,000. Currently, it's about £500, about $700. What it consistently is per month. If you, as a part of YouTube, encompass all the educational stuff, then yeah, it's over £1,000 because you include YouTube, Pact, Udemy, and all the other various educational platforms we're on. We're also just doing some more. What's the way? Me doing some more deals with other publishing platforms like Allison, like I can't remember the other ones. There's one, I think, Stack Commerce as well, which is working with CNN. So I'm hoping, I mean, you never know, hoping that one could potentially be a very fruitful partnership and earn some money. That would be fantastic. Or I would also like to earn another £1,000 from property investing. So, yeah, that's what I would like to get into investing in a few properties. Be getting £1,000 regular per month from that. That would be fantastic. Then my wife put this on the board, £1,000 from games. I said to clear up where she meant games, the live streams I'm doing, because doesn't generate anything. It's more like a bit of fun than anything. Or £1,000 from like making games. If you like making games, so you're doing a game engine, so you're making good progress. You'll probably be at a point where you'll be making games soon, figuring out some sort of way of monetizing that. I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. That she also put education as well. I did ask her what she meant by education, because if it's online education stuff, obviously that could. Because when I put YouTube on there, she didn't know this, but I put an asterisk next to it, and that was saying that encompasses all the other areas as well. So it could be some other sort of education you could potentially be doing. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% passive. It could just be something that I'm actively doing as well. But my time permits it, like the sort of stuff I've been doing at the local college, helping out. Like I said, it was good pay, and would love to do that. And then you go right at the bottom, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, or have some sort of thing next to it. And 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are empty. Then 10, she put contract role. Obviously, she might have put a question mark next to it. She said, you could potentially do, and something I've discussed as well with her, doing some sort of light contract role, maybe 2 to 3 days a week, earn a bit of nice money, being probably more than £1,000 a month, to be fair. But yeah, and but I could use that money to reinvest in other areas like property, for example. So that could go from, let's say, £1,000 to £2,000 a month, then to £3,000 a month. And because that's what we're like, each one of these, I need some more, 5 more ideas. Each one of these to get to £1,000 per month, but then for each one to respectively grow. Obviously, we got to make sure I have systems in place that help me automate, all of these, and then eventually get other people, managing them, working on them. Obviously, they get some sort of cut or they get paid for it. But the property stuff, I'll probably be using letting agents. Obviously, you got to make sure, from what I read, you got to make sure you get a good letting agent. Otherwise, you'll be ending or with someone that you'll give 10 to 15% of your gross revenue, not your net revenue, your gross revenue, your gross rental income to, and all they're basically doing is putting it on Gumtree and Rightmove. Whereas you get some letting agents that'll do that, they'll market it well, they'll do really good photos, they'll do really good description, they'll have, properly vet tenants, they'll sort issues out. Obviously, they'll communicate with you when there's something gone wrong, and what do you want to do, because obviously, you're a lot of time have to foot the bill. But that's the thing. It's like, I'm happy to pay 10 or 15% to a letting agent if they're basically doing pretty much everything, and I'm not having to touch it at all. It's if I don't have to touch it, and they just they just come to me and be like, okay, the boiler's being a bit dodgy. What do you want us to do? But not only that, I want them to come back with, these are your three options. You can either replace it, you can either have it, have this pipe fixed, or you can have it fully checked by a plumber, electrician, boiler guy, whoever the type of person. I should know that. I'll actually listen. Let me Google that. Boiler guy. What are they called? Are they the plumber, the electrician, gas safe engineer, boiler engineer? So yeah, like if they gave me the option, they said, and this is what it's gonna cost, which one would you like? Instead of just ringing me and be like, the boiler's not working. Like, that don't mean anything to me. Because do I need to replace a boiler? Do I need to replace a pipe? Is it just a bit of maintenance? Could it be, cleaning? If they, are active and say, this is what's wrong, this is what we think is wrong, these are your three options, this is how much each one's going to cost, this is what we think about these, and I'm like, do option A or B or C. That way, they've taken the burden off me of having to figure that stuff out. I'm happy to pay 10-15% for that. So that's what you got to figure out. So you got to figure out. I need to figure out 5 more ideas to be able to, generate income from. Obviously, more than £500 a month would be great, but if we just start off with that, and then the money that I get, I want to save as much as possible, invest it in assets like property as well. So yeah, that's what I want to, get into. I did a set of deadlifts this week for the first time in 6 weeks, and because I hurt my elbow. I actually hurt it from getting off the bed. I was lying on the bed backwards, and I sort of kind of flipped over and used my left arm to support it. My arm was a straight, and I think I sprained my elbow. But honestly, from what I was reading, because I hadn't taken a proper week or two off to recover from exercise for over a year and a half, and I was lifting weight and I was progressing like every single week or every couple of weeks, every few days, the weights were getting heavier. I personally think what happened, I had probably damaged, certain parts of my body anyway, underneath, and just doing that sort of flip thing off the bed was the last step, and that's basically what I think felt like sprained it. I mean, it's not 100%, but it's got a lot better. Like before, if I just squeeze my left arm a little bit, left hand a little bit, it would hurt so much. Now it's not too bad. I was wearing compression sleeves. I was wearing a belt as well, gloves, but it's compression sleeves for the actual elbow. Did deadlifts, just did light straight bar deadlifts, not the heavy hex bar deadlifts I'll do. So I did 86 kilos, 12 reps, 88.5 kilos, 12 reps. I did 91 kilos, 12 reps, and then 93.5 kilos, 12 reps. So 4 sets of 12 reps. I mean, the last set was so difficult. And then exercise in between, like bench press and tricep dips on a bench as well. So that overall went well, I would say. I was happy with that. And what else is there? So yeah, like I say, with business, the game engine's coming along well. Like to make more progress on it. We're just fixing the warnings at the moment. There's still more warnings to go. I can feel a poo brewing up, so I'll be wrapping this up soon, and I will go to the toilet. And then what I'll do is I'm going to copy this onto my server, which has all my media, my sort of entertainment media, and my video media for the company as well. Put that onto that. The editing is always basic, just trimming at start and end, a bit of background noise reduction, and for the podcast I'll probably start just increasing the volume a bit post, because so far the volume can be a bit quiet, so I'll do that. And then what I'll do is I'll upload it to Anchor, which will inevitably upload it to Google Podcast, you'll upload it to Apple, and you'll upload it to Spotify. And then I will upload it to YouTube as well. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna wrap up now. Actually, I wanted to mention that I've started Red Dead Redemption 2 again. My wife's never played it, she wanted to watch me play it. I really wanted to wait till a remaster came out or an update to increase it to 60 frames a second, considering GTA 5 is coming out in November. I thought, if they're going to do some remaster or major update, it's probably not going to happen before mid to late next year. So that's 1 to 1.5 years away. But you know what? I love the game. I can play it. I'm happy to play it again in a year to 2 years anyway. So I'm more than happy to do that. It's been 3 years, 2.5 years since this game came out. This game's so good. We need to complete It Takes Two as well. They announced Crytek. No, it wasn't technically. Okay, was it technically Crytek? Well, Saber Entertainment or EA, but it was announced that Crisis Trilogy is coming out at the end of the year for PlayStation, Xbox, so PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles, and for PC as well. I'll get it for PC and I'll get it for PlayStation, and I'll play it on PS5, and they'll probably have some sort of enhancements, better frame rate on PS5. So I already played, Crisis 1. I actually platinumed it. I did that live stream. I'll do 2 and 3. I don't know whether I'll platinum them. I'll have a look what the trophy guide and roadmap is saying for that. Honestly, it'll probably be similar to what was already on the PS3, so I'll just check out those, roadmaps. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because they were more optimized than Crisis 1 anyway, and they ran better in general anyway, especially number 2. So I think that'll run really, really smooth. Really looking forward to playing them. I might even play them on PC, depending on how well they run. So, really looking forward to playing those games. So, yeah, thanks for listening. This has been episode 8 of the Just Average People podcast. This was your host, Farhan Hussain, and your guest, also myself, Farhad Hussain. And you know why I'm on the podcast, quizzing myself because I wasn't able to get a guest in time, but I will try my best to get a guest for next time. So thanks for listening. hopefully you have a good weekend. Hopefully this brings some joy on your Saturday morning, or just some laughs, or thinking, why is this guy on about? Thanks for watching, and bye bye.